Hello, this presentation is an introduction to the world of aerobatics. I hope you find it educational, and I hope it gets you interested in becoming an aerobatic pilot. A little bit about myself here. I am a commercial pilot. I've been flying for a number of years. In fact, I flew a Pitts Special in intermediate competition for 20 years. I now fly a Sukhoi Su-26. I have competed in more than 50 aerobatic contests, and before I was into aerobatics, I was a skydiver making 1,680 parachute jumps, and I'm an FAA senior parachute rigger, and I pack the parachutes for glider guys and my aerobatic friends.
Vertical up.
This
3
video is an
negative snap on the up.
example of the precision of flying through a complex aerobatic figure.
4-point roll on the top. One and a quarter rolls on the bottom, followed by an opposite direction, 1 and 3/4 rolls to inverted. End figure inverted. Figure 3.
Most of the airplanes we fly aerobatics in are more challenging than your average Cessna, Piper, Mooney, and Cirrus. You will notice from the picture that most of them are tailwheel airplanes. We fly Pitts biplanes. We fly high-performance composite airplanes, and that is often a step up in your pilot training and knowledge. While the previous slide shows some higher performance airplanes, we pretty much all start in your basic American Champion Decathlon, which is a 180 horse airplane, or even the Cessna Aerobat, which has 100 horses. And I will note that the Cessna Aerobat is not your average Cessna 150, in as much as it has beefed up tail and wing struts to handle the full range of aerobatics. Aerobatic airplanes are designed to have much larger flight envelopes than your typical weekend flyer. We can compare a Piper Warrior to a Sukhoi 26MX, for example, where the Piper Warrior is designed so that you can fly it to plus 3.8 Gs versus the Sukhoi's 9.7 positive Gs. For negative Gs, the Piper Warrior is not approved for intentional negative G. The Sukhoi can be flown in competition to minus 7.9 Gs. The maneuvering speed, which is the speed at which you can move the controls violently in their full throw. For the Piper Warrior, it's 111 knots. For the Sukhoi, it's 181 knots. Big difference between the two airplanes based on how they're intended to be flown. Aerobatics has a language, diagrams that describe an aerobatic flight program. The symbols that you see here will appear on a form that can be placed on the instrument panel of the airplane for the pilot to follow, and in a contest situation can be on a form that tells the judges what they should see the pilot fly. The symbols are what we call arresti. They're compiled in the Arresti Aerobatic Catalog that was originally created by a Spaniard, Colonel Arresti, many years ago, and has been refined and continued to be used today. This is an example of an aerobatic flight program described on a form that would be used by an aerobatic judge at a contest. The form describes what the pilot should be flying if the wind was from the judge's right. A condensed version of this would be on the instrument panel of the aerobatic airplane to remind the pilot as he flies through this flight program what that next figure is, what he should be doing, whether he's upright or inverted. The 9 figures start out with figure 1, which is what we call an up-down Humpty, which involves a vertical half loop at the top, vertical down, 3/4 snap, half loop again to back up to a vertical up, quarter roll, and what we call layout inverted into figure 2, which starts out with a 1 1/4 inverted spin that recovers down into a 3/4 loop with a 4 of 2-point roll at the top of the 3/4 loop and flying away inverted into figure 3, which is what we call a 180 rolling turn, where you go from inverted to inverted, changing heading 180 degrees, but while continuously rolling twice through 2 full rolls. Figure 4 is what we call a push Humpty, push to the vertical up, push around the half loop to the vertical down. The next symbol says we do a roll 2 of 4, and we pull to exit upright into figure 5, which is what a hammerhead. Pull to the vertical, 3/4 roll up, do the hammer reversal. That symbol below the horizontal line says we do a half snap roll on the way down, and we pull to exit upright. Figure 6 is a pull, push, pull Humpty, where we pull to the vertical, do 2 of 4-point roll, push for half loop to the vertical down, and then pull to exit upright into figure 7. Figure 7 is what we call an end figure, where the pilot will pull to the vertical, do a half roll on the way up, push around to the 45 down, do a full snap roll on that 45 line, pull back to the vertical up, and then push back to horizontal flight into figure 8, which is a down up down Humpty, where the pilot pushes to the vertical down, does a quarter roll, pulls around a half loop to the vertical up, does a roll that's 2 of 8 points, pushes around to the vertical down, and then pulls to exit into figure 9 upright. Figure 9 starts out with a full roll, pull into a half loop up, and at the top of the half loop up, you do a 4-point roll one way, 2-point roll the other way, and you finish inverted. End of sequence. The International Aerobatic Club, a division of the Experimental Aviation Association, is the umbrella for most of aerobatics in the United States. They have chapters, approximately 40. The chapters focus on aviation safety and safe learning and practicing aerobatics, both for fun and for competition. Each chapter generally organizes at least one contest during the year. In New England, we have the New England Aerobatic Club, which is IAC Chapter 35. The New England Aerobatic Club every July hosts the Green Mountain Aerobatic Contest at Springfield, Vermont. So what is an aerobatic contest? Firstly, it's kind of a social event where all of your bad friends and you get together and we fly. The competition is sort of an aerial version of ice skating with some of the psychology of golf. We follow the official contest rules that give us structure so that we can fly at appropriate altitudes, that we're safe, and we have 5 categories which we group the different skill levels of pilots together, and we give them the appropriate level of challenge. So we have primary, sportsman, intermediate, advanced, and unlimited pilots, and each flies within the airspace described on the right side of this screen, with each different skill level allowed to fly at with different floor altitudes so as to maintain the appropriate level of safety. Airspace is approved by the FAA. It wouldn't be a contest if we didn't have judges awarding grades for each figure and ranking the competitors against their peers. So at the end of the day or at the end of the weekend, we could award trophies to the best flying that the judges have seen. So we will have 3 to 11 teams of judges actually. A judging team is a grading judge who keeps their eye on the competitor flying, an assistant judge who reads from a form what the competitor flying should be flying and what the next figure is, and then we have a recorder who will write down on a form any commentary that the grading judge might have on imperfections in the flying of the competitor who's in front of them, and of course the recorder captures the grade for each figure. Here we have an advanced level competition flight that won the 2024 National Aerobatic Championships in the Power Advanced category. Sit
All
back and
right,
enjoy.
Britt's diving in the box, 3 wing wags, into figure 1, double Humpty. Pulling vertical on the first portion of the double Humpties, coming across the top of figure 1. 3/4 inside flick down. Pulling back around for the second portion of the double Humpty. Quarter roll. Laying out inverted. Setting herself up for figure number 2, 1 1/4 turn inverted spin. Pulling back around, 3/4 down P-loop. 4-2 on the top. Into figure 3, 2 turn. Inverted to inverted inside roller. Checking exactly where she is in the box, looking through the top of that canopy. She pushes into a push, push, pull, Humpty bump, center box. 2 of 4 points coming down. Into figure 5, hammerhead with a 3/4 roll going up. Kicking that rudder hard over, setting herself up for a half inside flick down. In the figure, she comes across the box, figure 6, a pull, push, pull, Humpty bump. 2 of 4 points on the vertical. Pushing across the top for a 3/4 roll down. Into figure 7, in figure, pull vertical, half roll up. Pushing across the top, 45-degree down line on the 45-degree descending line, full inside snap. Pull back around to close out the end figure. Into figure 8, another double Humpty, push vertical down, 1/4 roll. Pull back around. Second part of the double humping, 2 of 8 points of an 8-point roll. 1 and 2, pushing across the top. Set vertical down. Ending out figure 8 into figure 9. Full roll, half loop up. 4-point roll followed by an opposite direction 2-point roll. And end of sequence for Britt Lincoln flying the 330S.
Gliders can do aerobatics also. They can trade energy in the form of altitude into speed to do the figures that power planes do. The gliders fly upside down just as well as right side up, although for the more challenging figures, generally you will see a specialized glider that is better at aerobatics than the traditional soaring. Glider aerobatics tend to be very graceful.
Beautiful
This
piece of this will
video
be.
is
I'm
an
trying to keep
advanced
comments to a minimum.
level glider competition flight from the 2024 National Aerobatic Championships. The Aresti diagram on the left
A lot of our pilots
tells you what
from
the
all
glider
over,
will be flying
including
as
our
it
wonderful
goes
Air Force
through its
Academy.
competition flight program.
All right, looks like Ethan is into figure 5 for a tail slide, quarter roll down. Lay down Humpty, 2 of 4 points. As Ethan brings that nose around, all the way to 45 degrees, half roll. And he will finish the figure on the inverted 45, negative push into figure 7, a push wedge, shark's tooth, also some people call, as he pulls that beautiful glider around. Into figure 8, a full roll with 4-point roll on the top of the loop. Ever so graceful. These glider guys are working really hard, and girls. And the judging criteria is slightly different with the gliders for everybody watching at home compared to the power. As he comes across the box, figure 9 for a hammerhead. And into his last figure, figure 10, is a half loop up with a half roll on the top of the half loop. And Ethan is almost complete. And there's his wing wags, ever so nicely done, Ethan. It's a crisp, beautiful morning here in Salina, Kansas. Again, I'm with Forrest Fox and my
This presentation has just covered a small part of the world of aerobatics. I hope that you will further explore this exciting and rewarding part of the aviation universe. You can never stop learning on your aviation journey. Thanks for watching.
Vertical up. 4-point roll in the up. Hammerhead. Three and a quarter negative snaps on the down. Pull up. Pull out upright on the Y. Figure 2.